I'm sure by now that many of us have seen what happened with those two tourists that went over to India, a man and woman couple, where they were both beaten, but the woman was raped. Well, in the 2X, the Asian 2X subreddit, she says, "I'm so saddened by the Asian men's reaction to the gang rape in India." She says, "Yes, the title says it all. I'm an Indian American woman, and I was so appalled to see the recent Spanish influencer gang rape case where a travel lifestyle relationship influencer was gang raped, assaulted, and robbed by like 7 or 8 Indian men right in front of her partner while on a trip to India. I find it so absurd and ridiculous that right after this happened, I don't even think it's been a full week. South Asian men are sprinting to say, wah, not all South Asian men. Zero effing solidarity for South Asian women. Zero effing acknowledgement that India has a real rape culture problem. Zero effing accountability for the way sexism is so baked into the culture and has influenced the diaspora as well. Nope. Instead, it's deflection and immediate strategizing about how to mend their image so they can date white women. I'm so effing tired of the whining about not being good enough for white women or dating or whatever. I made the mistake of going to the South Asian masculinity subreddit and got even more angry by what I saw. They just make it all about themselves. They don't give an F about us. It's like even when the evidence is right in front of everyone, all they can muster up is, well, actually, India has 1 billion people. So by sheer numbers, is going to look like a lot. Meanwhile, that's literally not how percentages work. And the actual rate of rape in India is high as hell compared to many other countries. It's just total BS. Saying Indian men perpetuate rape culture is racist stereotyping. I raise, why don't you ask your own mothers and sisters what they think? I'm sick of the excuses. I'm sick of the entitlement they have to us. Honestly, I'm so over the culture. Everything is raising to a boiling point, and this is basically the last straw. I effing want out of this nasty culture. Okay, so this woman says, firstly, I want to express my profound solidarity with the sentiments shared and the pain expressed. It is pain I cannot imagine or fully or truly comprehend, yet I feel said pain so vividly from how you've described it. The recent events and the reactions they have provoked makes me sick to my gut. Too many men fail to act or speak up because it doesn't touch their bottom line or because they cannot or will not empathize with women. They don't care and move on with their daily life, or worse still, blame the victims in some way. This person wrote a full on essay, but I'm going to read it. She continues with, I have many friends who I truly consider reasonable enough men and otherwise have liberal views on women's rights and other such left wing views who sadly get defensive at the mention of too many men because they feel like they already do a good enough job believing in equality and stating that they stand by women, not realizing that actions speak louder than words. Or perhaps they already know that but don't care enough. The widespread failure of many men to acknowledge and especially confront the realities of gender based violence and the cultures that perpetuate it is a glaring problem that cannot be ignored. We need to get more mental to take that stand and not feel like doing so is a threat to their masculinity. In terms of how, I noticed that you brought up an Asian masculinity subreddit. My understanding is that forums like masculinity subs often become echo chambers where insecurities are magnified and toxic masculinity is reinforced rather than healthy, constructive identities being formed. There is a need for broader societal change towards healthier, more inclusive understandings of masculinity that respect and uplift all individuals regardless of gender. It's sad that many young men gravitate towards your Joe Rogans, Jordan Peterson, and Tater Tots with their seemingly easy yet fake answers. We need more Roger Smiths, Steve Irwins, Uncle Iroh, Bob Ross, and a litany of other positive male role models to change the tides. I'm not a celebrity or someone of great standing who can reach out to thousands or millions, but I want to be that positive male role model to other young men of any ethnicity in my own private life so that I may lead them down a different path away from abject apathy, or prescribed toxic masculinity. I did not realize that this was a man talking at first until now. He says, as a British born Chinese male, I'm committed to being part of this change. It's important to me that my actions and words do not perpetuate the cycle of silence and deflection around these issues. While not perfect, I promise to call out wrongdoings when I see them and use my voice to support and amplify those survivors and advocates fighting against injustice. My focus is on listening, learning, and supporting in ways that uplift women rather than overshadow the experiences and voices of those directly affected. The woman who jumped into my Reddit inbox shared with me this article. Gang rape of Spanish tourists in India sparks debate on prevalence of sexual violence. All women are at risk. Women have come forth to share their experiences of rape and harassment in India, denouncing the culture they say continues to allow it. Activists call for stricter accountability and urge Indian authorities to step up enforcement and awareness campaigns as women still feel unsafe outdoors. It's wild that someone someone foreign born has to come to one of these countries, get assaulted, for the people that are born there to have a voice to speak up against it. Indian women just couldn't, push for their own safety. It had to come from outside of their culture for it to get enough airplay to be able to focus on them a little bit. An alleged incident involving the heinous gang rape of a Spanish travel influencer in India has reignited public outrage and sparked an intense debate on social media regarding what is seen as an enduring rape culture in the country. According to police, the woman and her husband were staying the night in the Dumka district of India's eastern state of Jharkhand when they were attacked by 7 men. The woman was sexually assaulted while her husband was tied and beaten. The woman later shared a video on her Instagram describing the horrifying ordeal. I thought they were going to unalive me. Thank God I'm still alive. Police said late on Tuesday they had arrested a total of 8 men aged 18 to 25, allegedly involved in the crime, with the Dumka police chief Pitamar Singh Kirwar adding that authorities have ample evidence and will file charges. And look, they're still protecting the identity of the person, of these people, these people. As news of the incident spread, Indian and foreign women shared their own experiences of rape and harassment in the country while denouncing the culture that they say continues to allow such crimes. Many say sexual violence remains rampant in India despite previous legal reforms, and the frequency of such crimes, coupled with the lack of effective implementation of laws and societal change, underscore a systemic failure to protect women. I've been sexually harassed several times in India, like every woman I know who has spent time there. It tends to get press attention when the target is a foreigner, but Indian women face this issue more than anyone else, said Audrey Truxky, a South Asian historian and associate professor at Rutgers University. Shanali Verma, a consultant at a private company in New Delhi, told This Week in Asia the fear of harassment or assault is ever present, even in the company of familiar men, adding that sexual abuse from individuals in our own circles was not uncommon. To deny that India has this problem is to deny all of our lived experience, said Madhuro Rao. Growing up in India has left her with so much distrust for men in public spaces that she could not enjoy activities such as camping and going to concerts. Soni Chakra Bharti, an associate lecturer at the University of St. Andrews, wrote on X, I don't know a single woman who has not faced some form of harassment or worse while in India. The reason why I'm sharing this is because so many people don't recognize that this global misogyny is harming women across the board. And we need to highlight these things. We need to put pressure on these things for society to change, for women to be safe outside of their own home, because women should not have to live like prisoners in their own country. It shouldn't be a foreigner comes and gets harmed, and then now women who live there can have a voice. Anyways, jump in the comments. Let me know what you think. Don't forget to like, comment, and share.
A tourist was gang raped in India as her partner was brutally beaten. The couple who traveled on motorbikes were camping when they were suddenly attacked by a group of men.
Le han puesto el cuchillo en el cuello que me iban a matar. Y a Fernanda la viola. Siete tíos. Hijos de
The tourists were able to contact the police, who took them to the hospital and provided them with shelter. The attackers were arrested. Them, if convicted of gang rape, can face 20 years in prison.
Y'all know how we did that story of the stay-at-home girlfriend who was a stay-at-home girlfriend for 30 years and now she's getting evicted. In the comments, people are like, I wish we had the perspective of the adult children. Well, this is not that adult child, but this is very similar. Check this one out. He says, am I the a-hole for dropping my mom off at a homeless shelter and going home to my wife? He says, my mom, 59-year-old woman, has found herself penniless after 37 years married to my dad because my dad is in jail for stealing money from his employer, stealing it over decades. He's worked for that employer. When my dad was first arrested, me and my wife advised her to file for divorce immediately. If she's telling the truth in that she did not know what he was doing, never noticed their finances were changing, then she needed to divorce him immediately. Have a game plan, any game plan of sorts, but she fell into a state of shock, having several breakdowns that led to her being rushed to the hospital because she thought she was dying. She wasn't dying. It was all panic attacks. However, before this all came to light, she was still being treated for high blood pressure and arthritis from aging. I finally had enough of watching my mom decide not to divorce because she was always a housewife and finances made her head explode. My dad pled guilty, but not before cleaning them both out with legal bills and then being stuck with restitution. My mom has been wringing her hands. She got a job at a packaging place, but her multiple mental breakdowns that has caused her to be fired. She'll rant on and on about how she did it all right. Now she's lost the house, and the other friend she's been living with has been put on notice by her husband that either my mom leaves their house or they divorce. Now, my mom is begging me and my wife, who's my only priority, and to be honest, the first person I felt true, encompassing love of any kind from. She is somebody who I, in many ways, grew up with, emotionally speaking, because I was such an emotional wreck who didn't know that how to handle relationships before I met her. She's an RN and I'm in real estate. I was a top seller at my previous agency. Then me and a business partner decided to start our own thing. We both worked for all of our 20s to be where we are now financially. My wife is my family. We do not exist as junior subordinate members of my dad's family, which is what my mom expects us to be. My mom has kept begging us for help. Her attempts have ranged from her showing up at our door and crying and pleading. We've been too nice to just tell her the cold truth. It's not our responsibility. As someone in real estate, I understand that the Section 8 system is broken. Many landlords find ways to avoid Section 8, and she could be on a wait list forever. However, there are homeless shelters that give housing as long as you understand that you'll be living with people who are also at rock bottom. They probably won't be Mary Sunshine towards you. I ended up meeting her for lunch and then telling her I was getting her help. She agreed to get in my car and I ended up driving her to the homeless shelter. She started screaming and saying the people there are violent, have threatened others, and that there's pests in the shelter. I said nothing except that she needs to get in line so they'll give her a spot since it's first come first. Am I the a-hole for driving away and going back home to my wife? Edit. Since most people assumed I had a loving mother, my mother told me growing up that she was glad she had me, a son, because my sisters as women were a lot of drama. And every time they had emotional needs, she would dismiss it as drama. She fostered the rift between me and my sisters and said that I would grow up to build the world while my sisters would grow up to maybe support those who did great things. In addition, after my dad's infidelities became clear, she took out his infidelities on my sisters by saying that the way they were dressing, they would attract the attention of married men, and that she didn't think they had the character, they were 17 and 18 at the time, to not cheat with married men. Even accused them of wanting power over married men because that was something she found out about women through my dad cheating. So, for all of you defending my mom and fixating on what I am not doing, while I'm not calling my sisters who don't talk to either parents sociopaths. Now, that is a lot. Now, I've looked at some of the comments, and they are saying that he is the a-hole. And I think that this is a touchy subject. And I think that most people want to think that folks are going to swoop in and save parents. I think that that is what they think. But if kids were growing up in a home that was dysfunctional and chaotic, these parents of right now, these older parents of right now, if they didn't set themselves up, they are finding out that their adult children are not necessarily going to be their fallback plan. They're not necessarily going to be their retirement plan. They're not going to be their nursing plan. And I think that that is jarring for some people. I think we're in the find out season. We've talked about being in the find out season, but folks don't know what it really, really looks like. People are going no contact with the parents these days. It's just happening for various reasons. But this man lets us know why. He's like, you're not going to ruin my relationship with this woman that I love. You were chaotic, you did not prepare for life, and now you have to deal with the consequences of your actions. He said he is not going to be the cleanup guy. And I really think that this should put some things into perspective, that some people think having children is going to be your retirement plan. Like, who's going to wipe your butt when you get old? um, People with children might not have someone to wipe their butts. They might not have someplace to stay. And I say that as a parent, that yes, it's going to be up to me to figure out my long-term care, because even if I were to be able to stay with my children, they will be adults. They will have a life of their own. And people have got to start thinking of their adult children as full humans with lives outside of them, with lives outside of the parents. I'm not going to do the comments because they were kind of railing on the dude, but I want to know, what do you guys think about this one? Don't forget to like, comment, share. So someone posted this screenshot in my Bourbon Bougie community. She said, so can we talk about professions we need to avoid? And she used a screenshot from the 2X chromosome subreddit. And this one, they're talking about starter wife, women you practice on, pump and dump. And Miss Figgy says, I know a lot of people in the tech and finance industries, so I do hear starter wife very often. If a never been 40 something gets married to someone half his age, his bros joke that he got lucky and already skipped ahead to his second wife. So I wanted to go back and see this thread in the 2X chromosome subreddit. She asked the question, is this a real mentality you guys have? Because I see it all the time and it's actually sociopathic. It is actually disturbing. We have one life to live, and people are really going to waste months or years of someone's life pretending they love them or like them and want to build something with them so they can get their peen wet while looking for a wife they decide is worthy of them. I mean, outside of the total dehumanization of these women they are using, it is actually the most narcissistic thing I've ever heard, to look at a whole human being and be like, you are worthy of sitting on my junk, but you'll never be worthy of being my wife. Now, can anyone be that self important and self obsessed? And when it gets to the point of where guys see women as starter wives because they think they should get married young, have kids, but still get that young wife in their 40s, that's actually effing serial unaliver stuff. And anyone with that mindset needs to be flung into the sun. To waste a woman's entire youth in a calculated bid like that is pure effing evil. I don't get this insane stuff. I don't get people who put up with it. If my fiance told me he used his ex like that knowingly, I would take the ring off and shove it down his throat. Okay, so that was the post. Some of the comments are very interesting because there is a wide cultural swath here, and it is talking about Dusties on an international level. Let's look at some of them. This person says, I know that as a foreign woman living in Korea, this is a super common practice there. They date foreign women, but have zero plans to develop the relationship into anything serious, more like a novelty F. This person says, ew, a Turkish refugee tried to do that with me. This is awful, but I've heard that South Korean men call it riding a white horse until marriage. Yep, sexism plus racism all in one cake. As if life couldn't get any worse. I will repeat, there is no country I can go to where I'm guaranteed that men will treat me like I'm a person and not a fleshlight. This person says, it's very common in London too, practicing with a white girl. And this person says, it seems like Korean dudes are speed running the tater totification of America. This person says, Australian men don't need more misogyny. Someone says, amen to that. Diary of Jane says, Australian men are vile. This is coming from a British woman. And then Virtual Star says, South Korea has had an enormous far right problem for a long time. There's a huge far right forum called IBEEB. It's kind of like a 4chan analog that spreads misogyny far and wide. And someone says that's why 4B happened. This person says, yeah, Korea has had popular tater tot views for longer than the West. You guys are late to the game. The gender war divisions and hostile segregated internet they have there are your future. And to be honest, this sub is contributing to it. So women talking about misogyny globally is part of the problem, not the issues of global misogyny, women talking about it. And like I said, this post is talking about dustiness globally. This person says Arab Muslim men are notorious for this type of behavior. This person says Persians too, effers. This person says, I hope this doesn't come off as weird, but when I found myself single after an 11-ish year relationship in my 30s, I actually had multiple friends of different ethnicities warn me about dating men descended from the same regions as them, even American born ones. I'm a super pasty white lady and kind of a doormat, especially at the time. Apparently, it's not unique for these guys to seek out relationships with Western women with the full intent to marry someone from their cultural background. Of course, this does not mean all. And when I dated, I met with anyone I found interesting, regardless of appearance. Okay, so that was some of the comments. Now I'm going to go back to the post because this is where they were talking about the professions to avoid. Okay. Glittering Job says doctors, lawyers, and policemen apparently are the most difficult to divorce. I can't remember where I heard that though. And I have a big duvet says that makes sense. I've heard that firemen tend to be alcoholics and surgeons rate highly for psychopathy. So much for high value men. And this person says, how can I forget? Surgeon was on the list too. This person says, I cannot even imagine dating anyone in the surveillance type of position. I don't even date computer guys unless they are the type to build the hardware. But if you know coding in any type of that, no. My friend dated a real estate developer that also had a lot of coding knowledge. And because of that, he could hack into her Hotmail account. Or that's at least what he told me. He might have found an easier way to do it, and he didn't want to admit he stole her password or whatever. But he absolutely could get into her email whenever he wanted to. I will never date a man that could do that to me. This is why police are so scary, not just because they have a high rate of DV, but because of the personality type that would choose to do that job. But they also have their buddies that could follow me, survey me, do all kinds of weird stuff. No, thank you. This person says, I was talking with it to my BFF. Top 3 for me is police, military, lawyer. My BFF added journalist, hunter, and influencer. Someone like, what's wrong with journalists? She said media personality in general, but especially journalists. I guess it's because a lot of them are shady, at least where we live. And this person made me chuckle. She says, I'm avoiding all professions and the ones without professions. So, all right, y'all. Let me know, what are your professions to avoid dating? And do you have any cultural stigmas that you have seen in the men's internationally, like where you are? What are some of the things that you have heard that kind of give you the ick? Let me know. Jump in the comments, like, comment, share. This is your warning. This next post is long. This woman who posted this in the Bourbon Bougie community says she found it on Facebook from a woman in a third world country. This guy liked her and found all of this unhingedness. So, this is a man's summary on a dating site. And I'm going to read the whole thing and create a buildup. I'm going to do it. Sorry. My self summary. The truth about men is that most can't be monogamous forever. Some good ones are faithful most of the time, but eventually falter. Some don't even try to be faithful, instead, just lie and cheat until caught. He is coming out the gates swinging on his self summary. Okay, and most women know this by now. But there is a small percentage of men who, after years of loving, losing, searching, and evaluating, realize they can be monogamous, but only with the right woman. The key is to determine what attributes are necessary and essential. I call them the must haves. Both men and women have a must haves list, but the list is a lot shorter for men. We also have the wants or would like to have, but they aren't as important to long term success. Some feel their ideal person is their opposite, and others feel that someone similar is best. For some, compromising on must haves leaves them incomplete and never truly happy. If you're always yearning for someone else because your level is 50%, that's not good. I've learned that if I don't find my equal, it won't work for me. If you're afraid to ask for what you need, then you'll never be satisfied. So, the best way to keep a monogamous man truly happy with one lady forever requires four basic elements: compatibility, chemistry, love, and lust. But he needs them daily and constantly. If he feels his lady is his best friend, drama free, has a great sense of humor, and similar interests, then she never need then all she needs to do is be skilled in love and lust. I'm not going to disclose 100% on here, but should I find the person that I'm looking for, I will be completely honest and open. I know that I'm not for most women, and I actually do much better in person, but you never know. Being a brother, I look much younger than I am in my 30s. I used to be a personal trainer and love to work out 5 or 6 days a week. So, as not to waste anyone's time, I'm only looking for my equal. I will not be offended if I'm not your type, as I also have a certain type that I'm looking for. I've only dated women who not only appreciated being spoiled daily, but love to reciprocate that as well, and I will never settle. Some words that describe me are passionate, creative, unique, high energy, crazy, playful, intense, artistic, poet and lyricist, loving and determined. Please proceed with caution. This brother is a little crazy and highly addictive. He's known to utter words of madness, but he will back it up. Should you choose to contact him and move forward, you acknowledge that you have been forewarned and do so freely and accepting all consequences. Should you both determine that you are a compatible couple, you understand that it will take part in all of the daily rituals required: acts of love, lust, excitement, laughter, playfulness, friendship, and much more, which will be revealed to you at a later date. To quote from this known madman, I'm not for the faint of heart. I'm not for the meek. I'm only for a small percentage. Half good girl, half bad girl. That's all that I seek. There's more. What I'm doing with my life. What I'm doing with my life right now, I have a job, but hopefully in a few years I'll have a career. Please keep this in mind. Keep this paragraph in mind. He has a job, and in a few years he'll have a career. Working on my dream, even if one doesn't succeed, it's better to at least make the attempt at achieving your dream, and then than to live a mundane life and die with regrets. I could beat you at. To me, this question is funny. We all have things that we excel at and some things we're not so good at. If you figure out your strengths and weaknesses, then it better prepares you for the future. Everyone has both strengths and weaknesses in different areas, and that's what makes people and the world different. If we could do what we love and what we're good at doing, then it would be much better. We would be a much better and happier place. No matter how good you are at something, there'll always be someone who's better. So, in essence, he didn't answer that question. My golden rule. I think everyone knows that the golden rule is basically to treat everyone the same as you'd like to be treated, but not many people live by it. How can something so basic be so difficult? It seems that no one likes to be bullied, harassed, belittled, ridiculed, or made fun of. So why do so many do exactly that to others? Straight evil and cowards. Remember, if you're cruel to others, one day it'll come back to you. my partner should be. And he just capitalizes all these random words and it's annoying, but okay. My partner should be my equal, my best friend, funny, playful, daring, exciting, loving. And it just literally seems like he just copied a bunch of words. Okay. Loving, irresistible, and extrovert, fit, a music addict, a workout addict, part good girl, part bad girl, and have a love for chocolate. For those who have been nice enough to show interest in me, I thank you, but I'm only on this site to see if I can find my equal. That means staying fit and going to the gym regularly are an important aspect of your life. Compatibility and chemistry are essential elements that cannot be faked. Yes, I'm ready to spoil that special lady, but we must both feel the same. I know that somewhere out there is that exciting, rare part bad girl, part good girl who has been looking for her equal. If I don't find her, I will definitely find her in person. The most private thing that I'm willing to admit, well, I'm skeptical that I'll actually meet who I'm looking for on a dating site, but I'm on here for a little while anyway. And I do have quite a few exciting secrets that I'm willing to share, but only if I find the one that I seek. Actually, I will share one thing. Since I have no problem telling women what I need, I tend to be attracted to and date women who may look sweet, cute, beautiful, and lovely, but tend to be a half sweet angel and a half corn star. How else can a man stay happily monogamous? Now, who wants some chocolate? P.S. And don't try to be funny saying chocolate with nuts, although I am a little crazy. Ha 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 ha. Oh, there's more. So, what am I looking for? So, the special lady that I seek is the one who goes to the gym regularly. I want to train with her so we both remain healthy and fit. I also need someone who is very open minded and likes different types of music. Soul, okay, all right. She should be passionate, daring, loving, silly, playful, full of energy, an extrovert, honest, determined, irresistible, and skilled at love and lust. She must also have a love for chocolate, for I am the rarest, mouth watering, body trembling, crave quenching, eye rolling, ever addicting, satiating chocolate that you will ever pass your lips. I can seduce you with the spoken or written word, the sound of my voice, a gentle touch, a penetrating stare, a well placed kiss from soft lips, my wandering tongue, or, and he just leaves it there. So basically, from all of these words, there was a lot of words. He wants a gym rat that likes to um, have a lot of nookie. That's basically, that's basically all I saw that he wanted. He put a lot of words in there to say that he wants a fit woman who likes nookie. That's it. That's all he said in all of these words. And I built this up. Now listen, y'all finna die at the chocolate one who's 50. This man is 50. Early on, he said something about looking like he was in his 30s. This man is 50, talking about he has a job right now and hoping that it turns into a career. And he's 50 saying that. He's black and Native American. He's a Christian. Yeah, I just wanted y'all to see this. Hold on, let me see if I can make this picture look better. And this picture looks like it was taken in the 90s. So, what does the chocolate one look like right now in 2024? Who knows? But this is, yes, like I said, I know I built this up. He put a lot of words, he capitalized a lot of words that were unnecessary. But here's, oh, snap. There's more words every day. I used to work out 2.5 hours a day, 6 days a week, and still have sex 2 times a day. We're all supposed to be honest and should not be afraid of the truth. Some people have a very high drive, and I'm one of them. I need the same in a woman and only date women with high drives as well. Once a man finds his equal and is able to be monogamous with one woman, I feel every day should be filled with both love and lust, and that's what I'm used to in my past relationships. I'm definitely not looking to change that in my future. I am by no means a selfish lover and take pride and live to please my woman daily. Yes, there you go, ladies. Y'all jump in, have at it with this one. Don't forget to like, comment, and share.